value their privacy.
Insane new games announced to PlayStation 5, and you'll be amazed. Hope you enjoyed the video. Click in the like if you do, and subscribe to the channel. New videos every day. Thank you so much, and let's go to the video.
The people here are all spread out.
No one knows how that world came into being. It devoured everything from the
Tides of
past.
Annihilation is a
Only
new
I
hack and
was
slash
left.
game coming out probably in 2026. The game features an absurd of beautiful visual and graphics, and for the ones that likes fast action adventure game, this one looks sick, with a
was a
fast and
fateful
fluid gameplay,
mistake.
and a combat that makes me want to play it already, so I'm really excited about this one.
Sit. As long as it is reforged, my wish can be fulfilled.
The game is being developed by the studio Eclipse Glow Games, and is simply one of the games when I want to play already. It kinda resembles Final Fantasy 15 in some aspects of gameplay, what's really good for me. And if you want to play it too, know that it's coming out to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5 and PC, with no release date yet, probably 2026.
This is your final warning.
It always comes back to this.
Saros is a new game developed by the studio of Returnal, the studio housemarque. The game is going to be a 3D roguelike, just like Returnal was. In the first trailer we can't see much of the game, but the graphics looks really good.
Every time the sun dies, madness reigns.
If you played Returnal, you know that it's a fast and fluid game, with a lot of possibilities and enemies, and set in that style known as bullet hell, and this one promises to follow the same style. Despite we didn't see any gameplay yet, in the end of the trailer we can see in the eye of the character a lot of bullets coming in his direction, making it clear that it'll be a bullet hell game style. The game is coming out to PS5 only, in 2026. Sonic Racing. CrossWorlds is the next racing game of the famous Sonic and his friends. The game is being developed by the studio Sonic team, and looks really fun for the ones that likes racing games in the kart style. The Sonic Racing series is extremely fun, especially to play with friends, with a nice gameplay and fun tracks, and I believe this one is going to be really fun too. And if you like it, it's coming out in 2025, but a playable experience is coming out in February it seems, so you'll be able to try it, and the game will be available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, and Microsoft Windows. Directive 8020 is going to be a horror game focused on the story, and will be developed by Supermassive Games, the same studio of The Quarry, Man of Medan, and more. So yeah, this is going to be another game in this style.
Inspect the hull damage first.
What is that?
You feeling alright?
The game is going to be set in the space. Yeah, we've seen that somewhere. But this game looks really beautiful. So in the spaceship you'll need to survive and discover what is really happening there.
It still doesn't feel real sometimes.
Never forget why you started.
Earth is dying and humanity is running out of time, is the brief of the game, so I imagine it's going to be very immersive, but to see it we'll need to wait until October 2nd, 2025. And the game is coming out to PlayStation 5, Microsoft Windows, and Xbox Series X and S.
Physical appearance. It's changing its cellular structure. It's replicating the human form. It's replacing us.
I know this.
So let me explain the situation. One of our contractors, Edwin Murray, has gone missing, leaving our property abandoned in his warehouse.
Five Nights at Freddy's: Secret of the Mimic is the new game of the beloved series. It's being developed by the studio Steelwool Games, and for the fans of the franchise you can expect an immersive and charismatic game. It's not an adult horror game, but a fun childish horror game, with fun mechanics and nice jump scares.
That you could sustain significant injuries while attempting to retrieve it, including but not limited to death or dismemberment. We fully expect the retrieval process to go smoothly.
In the game, you be in the abandoned workshop of a manor, and there you must survive the living puppets and solve the mysteries of what happened there, set in a first-person camera. And a lot of features. If you like it, it's coming out in June 13th, 2025, and so far PlayStation 5 is the only confirmed, but it's surely coming out to other platforms too.
Fazbear Entertainment is not responsible for damage to property or person. Thank you for being a valued member of the Fazbear team.
Onimusha Way of the Sword is the new game of a classic and acclaimed series. It's a hack-and-slash game with some RPG mechanics. The old ones are really good and immersive, with an interesting and unique story and storytelling, and the game is being developed by Capcom. The game will be set in a medieval Japan, mixing reality with fantasy, with a fast and stylish combat style. And if you didn't know the series, I recommend you to play the classic games. They're really good even to this day.
Swordplay is a game of...
And the game looks so beautiful. Look at these graphics, bro. Insane. And the game is coming out in 2026 to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC.
Not good.
Lies of P. Overture is a DLC to the game Lies of P. That's an excellent Souls-like game set in a dark version of the universe of Pinocchio. The original game features a good gameplay and insane boss fights. So if you like Souls-like games, you should play it. And the DLC will bring a new part to the story, with new stages, new weapons, new enemies, and of course, new bosses.
I'm a friend. Help me to hold your hand and dance.
You're not the puppet I was expecting. Who are you?
The game is being developed by the studio Neowiz, a studio that delivered an insane game with the original Lies of P, so I'm really curious to see this DLC. And it's coming out to Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5, Windows and Mac in summer of 2025.
I'll do whatever it takes. Your survival is all that matters. Nothing else comes close, not even my life. I swear I won't be late.
Forged to unleash vengeance. More than a weapon. It is the soul of a shinobi.
Shinobi, Art of Vengeance is the great returning to the iconic 2D action platformer game style, with a unique hand-drawn look created by the team behind the hit brawler Streets of Rage 4, the studio Lizard Cube, and Sega. Looking the gameplay, it looks extremely fast and fluid. What for me looks absurdly fun, so I'm really curious to see more of the game.
Not dared. Striking with lethal precision.
When I first saw this game, it reminded me 9 Souls. That's an excellent game, and the combat of Shinobi seems to be in the same style. What for me is really good. And if you like this style of game, it's coming out in August 29, 2025 to PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PC and Nintendo Switch.
The legend continues.
Digimon Storytime Stranger is the next game set in the universe of the beloved Digimon. In the game, the players will be able to find numerous classic Digimon. And the game is being developed by the studio Media Vision Incorporated and promises to be the great returning of the series.
The battle to alter destiny begins. Embark on a journey alongside gods, heroes, and monsters of battle.
Unravel a mystery that spans across the human world and the digital world, collecting and raising a wide variety of Digimon to save the world in an RPG game style, with a lot of places to explore and quests to do. And if you like the series, it's coming out in 2025 to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5 and Windows.
The story of a bond that transcends time.
Colonel, tighten the security on this place. He's coming here, I'm sure of it.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is the remake of one of the most acclaimed Metal Gear's games. The remake is being developed by Konami, and if they make a remake as good as Silent Hill 2 remake, it'll be insane. If you never played Metal Gear before, know that it's a stealth game, but not just this, it's a very original and unique game with a crazy plot and mechanics of the original game nobody even believed was possible when the game was released.
We are the sons of the boss! I see it! The fear! A great and terrible fury at being alive. And you are one of them.
But we'll need to wait to see if the remake will really be good, but let's hope it is, and the game is coming out in August 28, 2025 for Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC.
Still America can do to stop us. I'm not finished yet!
A powerful being falls from the sky.
Lost Soul Aside is a new hack-and-slash game with a fast-paced gameplay inspired in Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy XV, and the game is being developed by the studio Ulti Zero Games.
Really just a dream?
It's being developed in Unreal Engine, and in the gameplays and trailers it looks really interesting, with a fast and unique combat system, with good mechanics, great enemies and bosses. So if you like hack-and-slash games, you should keep an eye out for it.
I see great power within you, a destiny.
The game is coming out in May 30th, 2025, and is coming out to PlayStation 5 and Microsoft Windows.
The blade in your hand. You never wanted to be a hero, but for humanity.
なんで俺はこんな砂浜で寝とったんや?
Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is a new beat-em-up action RPG game, and yes, it's in the same universe of Yakuza original games, with some of the series' characters.
父ちゃんには内緒で。
コスプレかいな。
マッドランテスってとこから来てんだよ。ギャングとかマフィアのたまり場の島。
The game is being developed by Ryugago Toku Studio, and the gameplay won't be in the style of the Like a Dragon new games, but in the old style, like a Dragon Gaiden 2, with a fast-paced and frenetic combat. In the game you'll control Majima, a famous and beloved character that's present on the series for a long time, and now we'll have his game. The game is coming out in February 21st, 2025, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, and Xbox Series X and S.
マッドランティスはいくつかの犯罪組織で運営されてるよ。そのうち一番でかいのがクイーン・ミシェルってバーサの組織だ。よく来たね。
Split Fiction is the new game developed by the same studio of It Takes Two that got the Game of the Year, by the way, the studio Haze Light Studios. And it's going to be set in the same style of these other games too. You won't be able to play alone, what's bad for some people, but is extremely fun to play with a friend.
You play as Mio and Zoe, same simulation.
What are you doing in my story? Something bad is going on here.
And there, they find out that their stories are about to get stolen.
No one escapes my simulation.
The game now will be set in a magical and mystical world, set in a lot of different places and times, with a lot of features, what looks extremely fun. And the best, the game got a release date already, March 6th, and is coming out to Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC.
And a fantasy world. You start out by finding dragon eggs that hatch.
Hey! Stop licking.
And then, they become a little bit bigger dragons with new abilities.
Little Nightmares 3 is the new adventure, or should I say, nightmare, of the franchise, still with a very cool visual and nice graphics, and it's being developed by Supermassive Games. This time you won't play alone. I mean, you can play alone, but with an AI character helping you, or with a friend or mate, all set in an atmospheric and horrifying place, filled with all types of monsters. Just like the first two games, here you must survive the bizarre creatures that wants to devour you, and also solve the riddles of the rooms to proceed to the next stage. And with this co-op mode, it promises to be even more complex now, with the need of a good communications if you're playing online. The game is coming out in some moment of 2025 to PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. Ninja Gaiden 4 is the returning of an old and acclaimed hack-and-slash series. The new game is being developed by the studios Platinum Games Incorporated, Team Ninja, and KY Tecmo Games, and promises to be the great returning of the series. That also received a version black to Ninja Gaiden 2 in the same day it was announced, and also has a 2D new game announced that looks really fun.
Ninja. However, the Dark Dragon's husk remained, and from this husk fell an endless downpour of cursed rain. The abandoned Tokyo.
In the new game we'll play as Ryu Hayabusa, but also a new character, with technological gadgets and a whole new style of gameplay, so I must say that it really got my attention. And it's coming out to Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC, still in 2025.
Whatever your clan is plotting, it ends.
Reanimal is a game that you never saw, probably, but now will be amazed by it, especially if you like Little Nightmares, and the game is being developed by Tarsia Studios. The similarities with Little Nightmares are clear, but the game is being developed by some of the same creators, so they know what they are doing, and I must say, this one looks more interesting for me than Little Nightmares 3. The environment and immersion of this game are in another level. Everything looks unbelievable, but we'll need to wait for the game to be released. What will probably be in 2025, to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Microsoft Windows. Doom: The Dark Ages is a brand new journey of Doom's Slayer after Doom Eternal. That was an amazing game. Again, the game is being developed by ID Software. Thankfully, that's an amazing studio. Doom is a fast-paced FPS game, with the focus in the gameplay, with very brutal gameplay and motions. In the game you control Doom's Slayer, the only defensor of Earth capable of fighting the demons. Now we're going to explore the medieval era, with new guns, features, enemies, and much more, and of course still with the classic stuff. But to see this new masterpiece we'll need to wait until May 15th, 2025, as the game is coming out for Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC. The Blood of the Dawnwalker is the new game by the director of The Witcher 3. Yes, he left CD Projekt Red and is now creating a whole new game. The studio is Rebel Wolves SP, and they promises to release the AA game with the quality of a AAA. If you don't know, that's about how much money will be used in the development, so I'm curious to see it.
Lunka! Don't hurt her!
The game will be set in a dark and immersive open world, filled with vampires, and in some moment, the protagonist will be also a half-vampire, what makes it even more interesting. The gameplay will be fluid and with a lot of possibilities, and like The Witcher, you choose the destiny of the world by your decisions, what is always interesting when you want to replay the game. And it's coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and Series S, and Microsoft Windows, with no release date yet. Crimson Desert is a new massive open-world RPG. The game is being developed by Pearl Abyss Studio, from the same creators of the MMO Black Desert. As you can see, the game is going to be a huge open-world game, filled with a lot of different mechanics. Mechanics that we see in other games too, but looks insane in this one.
To nothingness. We seek to correct it.
For those who enjoy games like Assassin's Creed, The Witcher, or even Zelda, I think you are going to enjoy this one, and it's coming out to PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC in 2025.
For those who have survived, and for those who will live on, this is our mission.
Atomfall is a first-person survival game with a unique style. The game is being developed by Rebellion Developments, the same studio of Sniper Elite series. Atomfall is set after a nuclear disaster, so you must survive in a destroyed world, exploring, crafting, scavenging, and facing all types of enemies, since humans, to different types of creatures or even machines. For me, what catches my eye in the gameplays was the scenarios, with impressive caves of even overgrown areas. What looks so impressive, but to play it will need to wait until March 27, 2025. And it's coming out to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, and Xbox Series X and S.
You never know you are a monster.
Wuchang Fallen Feathers is a new Souls-like game with impressive scenarios and graphics, and the game is being developed by a studio called Lean-Z. For the people who likes action RPG, we'll be looking forward to this new one. The game is set in the land of Shu during the dark and tumultuous late Ming dynasty, with humans fighting for power and insane creatures.
You. The first signs are really subtle, but over time, it becomes clear. The gift changes you, slowly consuming every little part of your humanity.
Looks really good, and it's coming out to Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC, in some moment of 2025. Ballad of Antara is an upcoming fantasy action RPG set in a fanciful and magical world with a fast-paced and fluid combat style, and is being developed by Tipsworks Studio.
Vanished into the mist.
Why do we have to bear the consequences of such power?
Time.
I pray for their grace.
Embark on a perilous journey, seek out colossal divine creatures and recover lost and distorted essences, set in a sort of open land, with challenging enemies and powerful bosses. The game will be a single player, but you can also play in co-op, so for those who likes to play with friends, this one looks very good, and it's coming out in some moment of 2025 to PlayStation 5 and Microsoft Windows.
This desolate place needs a sprinkle of madness.
Borderlands 4 is the new adventure of the most acclaimed looter-shooter series. And yes, it's a looter-shooter, but with some RPG mechanics too, and it's being developed by Gearbox Software. If you've ever played some game of the series, you know how it works. It's a fun and unique FPS experience, with quirky characters and a very fun progression, especially if you play with some friend. This promises to be the greatest Borderland experience, and is coming out in September 23, 2025, to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Microsoft Windows. Cronos: The New Dawn is a new announced survival horror game developed by Bloober Team SA, the studio responsible for the medium. That's not that good, but they developed the just released Silent Hill 2. That's a very good experience, so I prefer to think they do a good job here. The game is going to be a third-person survival horror set in a mysterious and wrecked world, with a lot of mysteries and things related to time travel, so I'd say the story here is going to be kinda complex. The studio just finished Silent Hill 2, but I don't know how long they are working in this game too, but they are planning to release it in 2025. Just hope it launches in a good state, and it's coming out to PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S.
From the studio that brought you Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, Part 2. Neverwinter Nights, Part 2.
The Outer Worlds 2 is a new sci-fi FPS RPG, and will obviously be a sequel to the first game, and it's again being developed by Obsidian Entertainment. We know that the Obsidian is working on Avowed now, and it'll be released in this month. After that, they'll surely focus on the development of the Outer World 2. And it's probably going to be in the same style of the original game, a fun open-world adventure.
Wise-sounding voice. And we see a quiet, peaceful setting. And Fallout 3, Part 2, New Vegas.
The game has no release date yet, and it's coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Microsoft Windows.
Welcome back to the future.
Monster Hunter Wilds is finally a new adventure for the lovers of Monster Hunter, and it looks a very good one. The game is being developed by Capcom, and looks insane. You probably know Monster Hunter already, but if you don't know that this is a sort of action RPG game, where the main objective of the game is hunt huge and powerful monsters, that's why it has a name. This is going to be the next big adventure of the series, a massive game filled with content, and will be coming out in February 28, 2025, not so far, and will be available on Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC. The first Berserker, Khazan, is another fast-paced action RPG game, also with a Souls-like approach. The game is being developed by the studio Neeple, and looks insane. The gameplay will be fast and brutal, and you'll face different types of enemies, humans, or creatures, and also those insane bosses that we see in other Souls-like games. But be aware, cause it looks very hard. For the lovers of action RPG games, know that it's coming out in March 27, 2025, to PlayStation 5, PC and Xbox Series X and S.
Welcome to
Death Stranding 2 is the sequel of the first Death Stranding, a very original game by the way. The game is obviously being developed by Kojima Studios, so prepare for a crazy and immersive story. The core of the game will be almost the same for what we know, but we'll obviously see some new features. After connecting everyone in the first game, we'll see the consequences of this deed in this game, and also explore a whole new area as we deliver and connect other people.
But I'm afraid Death Stranding is far from over. Humanity is still in danger, still on the brink of extinction. Anyway, the DHV Magellan's here to
The first game was once an exclusive of PS4, but today we can also play on Xbox Series or PC, as it's now a Kojima's game, and not Sony's anymore. Death Stranding 2 is coming in 2025, but still with no release date. It was announced as a PS5 exclusive, and will probably be, at least for the first year.
To move around. Bots are capable.
Ghost of Yōtei is the sequel of the acclaimed game Ghost of Tsushima, and now we're going to play an adventure set over 300 years later. The game is being developed by Sucker Punch Productions, and the players will explore the lands and the surroundings of Yōtei, and we'll see different types of environments through the game, since overgrown areas to cold and snowy places, all that set in the year 1603, with amazing graphics and a huge open world to explore. The first game was really beautiful, so I believe this one will be even more, but to see it we'll need to wait until some moment of 2025, and it's coming out for PlayStation 5. Well guys, hope you enjoyed it. Click in the like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and so long.